Midsommar is a 2019 horror film directed by Ari Aster. The movie had a budget of about $9 million and grossed $48 million in the box office, with Aster's direction and Florence Pugh's performance being some of the most praised aspects of the film. This movie is full of cinematic elements that the director uses to surprise his viewers and leave people feeling differently than they may have felt watching a slasher film that is dark and bloody. Through audio-visual tricks and different color palettes, Ari Aster plays against expectations to get the audience to react in ways they were not ready to react. This movie is not like a lot of other horror films. There are many bright, colorful scenes with intricate visuals that will leave you with a surprisingly satisfying feeling. However, Ari Aster has taken these bright colors and has attached a darker meaning to them. For example, the color yellow appears throughout the movie quite a bit, especially at the outset of the movie. In the beginning, we see the firefighters arrive on the scene where Danny's sister, Terry, has committed suicide and killed her parents in the process. She attached a hose to the exhaust pipe of a car and fed the carbon monoxide into the house and used it to kill herself and her parents. The firefighters' gear, the parents' bed sheets, and Terry's shirt are all different but prominent shades of yellow. Ari Aster knows that yellow is usually a color that represents light and openness, but has formed a new association with the color that now feels a lot more like death. This pattern of yellow shows up in the movie at a few different points, like when the group is first entering the grounds for the ceremony. They step through a hole in the fence that is outlined to look like the sun, with the color yellow being very prominent on the borders. Usually, the sun is a depiction of love, happiness, or light, but Aster uses footage of them stepping through a yellow frame shaped like the sun, almost as if to show the group arriving to their death. Aster seems to use the color yellow to depict death and loss instead of what most people associate the color yellow with, which is usually a warm or happy feeling. In the ending scene, the group members that are still alive are executed by being burned to death. Yellow is also very prominent here and acts as a callback to the beginning of the movie. The building that is being used to execute the group of friends is bright yellow, and when they cut back to Danny watching it all happen while dressed in the ceremonial flowers, there are spots of yellow flowers in her hair, symbolizing the parts of her that have died throughout her experience. Aster also uses the color white throughout the movie to depict fear and chaos, when white is usually representative of safety and innocence. The people throughout the movie that are dressed in white seem to be calm and lucid, but are later revealed to be the opposite. In the ending scene, the people dressed in white are seen imitating the act of being set on fire, resulting in chaos and fear-inducing feelings. It is clear that these people are brainwashed, but the director goes against our expectations and reveals the more sinister, chaotic side to these people instead of the openness and innocence that they preach. An audio-visual trick that Aster uses throughout the film is the absence of music. There are scenes in the movie that, if accompanied by a swelling orchestra or sad melody, would usually cause more dramatic emotion within the audience. Aster uses the absence of background music in some scenes to accent the petrifying atmosphere that he is trying to create. Midsommar is a horror film that relies on going against the audience's expectations so that we react in ways that we did not expect to. The absence of music instills a more petrifying feeling than if there were the usual background music to accompany an upbeat horror scene. Ari Aster uses color palettes that usually provoke different emotions than the ones he is trying to instill in the audiences. He goes against the expectations of bright and happy colors and uses them instead to represent death, mourning, and chaos, where most directors rely on horror music, dark colors, and blood to instill fear and anxiety within their viewers.